This first method I don't even use anymore, but I have in the past and it's arguably the easiest one to learn, so it's worth teaching. Okay, go to File, Open, and we're going to start fresh by opening Basic 1 again. So open that, and for our character animation, I thought we would show that civil protection officer walking in the background of that opening scene to the video. He walks at a slightly diagonal angle towards the entrance to the store. Now we don't have the gas pumps here yet, but again, let's keep things simple. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is move our start position so we can see him better when he walks. So remember, Control X to cut, and Control V to paste. And to rotate them, I'm going to double click on them, then move this little dial here, then hit Apply, and Close. Okay, that's about the right spot. Next, let's create the officer. Go to the Entity tool, and the entity we want is NPC Metro Police. And click about right here to place him. I work with these guys a lot on another one of my projects. Okay, double click on him, and let's rotate the angle on him a little bit. Next we need to give him a name. I'm just going to call him Cop since they're the cops in Half-Life 2. And I think that's it. So hit Apply, then Close. Now he's looking the right way, but like the Combine soldiers, we need to tell this guy not to hate us. So go to the Entity tool again, and we want another AI relationship. You are now a relationship counselor for artificial intelligence. So double click on it. The name doesn't matter. The subject is Cop. The target is Player. Disposition like. Start active, yes. Apply, then close. Alright, now that we've done that, we're going to create something for him to walk to. So go back to the Entity tool, and we're going to use that same entity we used for turning, a target info. an info target. There we go. Now I'm not going to place this too far away because this only works within a certain range. The online documentation says the target can only be 576 map units away. That's going to be the case with about every method shown here. Okay, double click on the target to give it a name. I'm just going to call this Move 1. Apply. Close. This method of motion is going to use a scene file, so we're going to need a logic choreographed scene again. So go to the Entity tool and select that. Now double click on it. And I'll just call this Walk Scene. And the scene file will leave blank because we haven't created it yet. Now hit Apply, then Close. And on that note, let's head over to FacePoser to do the other half of this. First, let's save our map. Go to File, Save As, and I'm going to call this Motion 1 since this is the first method. Now save, close, and go to FacePoser. Now you may wonder why I'm doing this instead of opening up both programs at the same time. I'll say from experience, you vastly lower your chances of the program crashing if you only run one at a time. Okay, let's create a new scene file. Go to Choreography, New. And we'll break the trend here and call this Motion Scene. Save. Our actor name will be Cop, since he's the one doing the moving. And as always, right-click to create a new channel. I'm calling this animation again. It doesn't matter what you call it. And creating our motion sequence is pretty straightforward. Just right-click here and click on Move to Actor. Now the name can be anything. I'm calling it Walk. For Move to Actor, this will be the name of our target, which is Move 1. And this next option here is what kind of motion you want. I'm just going to have him walk. And for stop distance, this is the distance from the target that you want him to stop. We don't need that for what we're doing. For forced short movements, this means they'll slow down a bit as they get closer. That might look better in some instances. Now for this option, one of the biggest problems with this method of motion is that you don't know how long it'll take your character to get from point A to point B. So this will actually pause your scene until he reaches his destination. It's a good idea in theory, but I find it sometimes causes jerky animation leading up to and after it, so I don't recommend it. Alright, go ahead and click OK. And again, we don't know how long this sequence will take, so you'll have to guess. I'm going to guess around 5 seconds. If you overshoot, it's alright. He'll just stop once he reaches his destination. If you aim too low, he'll stop before he reaches his destination. And that's about all we have to do here. So click on Choreography, Save. Then we'll close this and head back to Hammer. You know, I've heard from someone who works in a biology lab that men have more in common genetically with male apes than they do with women. I haven't verified that though. Okay, back to Hammer. Just go to File and Quick Load Motion 1. Now the first thing we want to do is point to our scene file that we've created. So go and double click on our Logic Choreograph scene. Then go to Scene File, Browse, and we want Motion Scene. Open, Apply, Close. And now we need to create a way to activate this, so let's create another trigger. Click on the Brush tool, then go to the top-down view here to create a cube. I'm going to stretch this one a little bit. Now press Enter, and next we want to go to the Texture tool. Click Browse, and type in Trigger. Double-click on that, Apply, Close. Now select the brush and right-click on it in the wireframe view, and select Tie to Entity. And we're going to change this to Trigger Once. Hit Apply, and we want to add an output. So click on Add, and we want On Trigger. Target entity is named Walk Scene. Via this input, Start. Hit Apply, Close. And I'm going to move it forward a tad just so he doesn't trigger it by accident. And now File, Save, File, Run Map. Hit OK. Do you know how when you're growing up, you lose your old teeth as your permanent ones grow in? Well, that could be any given day in the life of a shark. They're constantly growing new teeth. They have 5 to 15 rows of teeth per jaw. How many rows of teeth do you have? That's right, 1. Sharks pretty much know what they're doing. They're insanely successful as a predator and are way older than the dinosaurs. They're older than cockroaches. So you talk about a species that's in it for the long haul? There you go. Unless we kill the oceans, they'll probably be here after we're extinct. Alright, let's watch him walk. Yeah, he's walking like a champ. Now, if your guy doesn't start walking, you should double check to make sure all your names match up and make sure the distance between the cop and the target isn't too far away. Okay, this concludes method 1. Let's learn about the others.